What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I am Joel Friday. Welcome to the show. A few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it, lay the smack down on the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and at any point during the show, you know what you can do, y'all. You can call in at 888-775-3773. You can call in at 888-775-3773, and we can talk about whatever you want. If you're watching from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Puncher.tv and you got the urge, call in and we can get at it. All right? You can call in, and if for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Joel Friday TV. Type that in the little browser, or go directly to the YouTube live chat. Hit the link. YouTube live description. Hit the link, and it'll take you straight there. Or go directly to the YouTube live chat. Hit the super chat button. Lord, all these directions. But hit the super chat button. Send your question or comments there. I'll read them live on air. So, you got them options there, folks. You got them options there. Amazing stuff. Let's get into it. Let's get into the madness. I got some stuff here I want to show you guys, talk to you guys about. Because I want to talk about some stuff, okay? Because I was driving the other day, and when I was driving, I was thinking about how, like, the government has a lot of control over what we say and do today, right? The government has a lot of control. And mostly, not even so much, well, yes, what you say and do, but not even so much just that, but just the affairs of our life. The government has a lot of say on the affairs of our life, how to live our life, what to do with our life. They have their hand in a lot of things. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, this is interesting, because I realized that, which I kind of knew just from being here on the show, on the JOP show, Bond Network, blah, 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 right? I've understood that the government control things, but I just started to see it more and more over time, how much they really control and dictate a lot of what's going on today. Whether it be election, whether it be laws, whether it be what you can and can't do, how you can and can't raise your children. Like, they have their hand in everything that we do today, right? And then I was thinking exactly on specific things. Like, I'm going to give certain examples, right? Like, the government is wants to tell you how you can use some states, right? In America, different states have different laws, right? But they want to tell you how to use your own gun, your own firearm in your home, right? How to use it, but also whether you can use it or not, and when and where you can use it. So gun control, that's one of them, right? The government tells you how and where and when to use your gun and what guns you can buy. Right? And they're cracking down on the details on which ones you can and can't buy. Oh, they cracking down on that. But also, the borders being open, that now anybody can come in and doesn't matter where you're from and stuff, as long as you come over here and say you're seeking asylum, we'll give you a credit card. It's a big one. Government allows that. This is a huge one. Government assistance. The government encourages, pat you on the back that if you don't have a husband, then government will take care of you and your children comfortably. So you don't need a husband. You don't need to rely on you and your husband solving your problems in the home so you guys can overcome and have a good family unit for your children and be happy and successful, right? You don't, guess what? If it fails, we got you. That's what government tells you, daddy government. And also, abortion access, right? Government say, listen, if you want to get involved and you want to have babies, then guess what? No big deal. You can take this pill and get rid of it, right? And it's fine. No big deal. You can just get rid of it. Just take this pill or go to this place, right? And lastly, and these are just a few examples. These are a few examples, right? But lastly, how, as you guys know, they do have the power to arrest. Say if you do a crime, commit a crime, and you're underage, and it happens to be a major crime, and multiple people are victims to this crime, they do have the right to arrest those responsible of that person. The parents can be arrested, and they can go in there and arrest the parents. Right? They can do it. Whether we agree it's right or wrong. And I think in some cases it can be an overreach, for sure. But the point of all of this, the reason why I bring this all up is just to make this simple point right here, right? And then I'm going to expand on it, but just to make this is the main point of why I'm bringing this up. Is the government is playing God. The government is playing God, right? The government is coming to the rescue for people and playing God and saying what is right and wrong. And in actuality, it's actually destroying the family unit, destroying people, destroying the country. The government. And I'm not talking about specific people in the government because that's subjective, right? But the government in general, its reach, its power. Why? The question is, why? Why does the government have so much power? Why does the government have so much reach? Why does the government have so much influence? I think somebody asked this in the chat earlier. Why does the government have all this power? Whose fault is it? I'm going to tell you right now. Your fault and my fault. That's whose fault it is. That's whose fault. That's the reason why the government has this reach, this power. It's your fault and it's my fault. It's the people's fault. I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm going to tell you why the government, part of the reason why, I don't know entirely why the government exists, right? But part of the reason why the government exists, I'm going to tell you, is the government has always been plan B. And when plan B has to step in, when plan A fails. And who's plan A? You. We the people, we're plan A. The family unit, Christianity, the order of God, moral values, decency, common sense. That's plan A. But when plan A fails, plan B has to step in and take over. That's why we have laws. Just think about laws. Think about laws. The laws were created to contain the lawless, to prevent people from doing crime. But if they had the laws of the heart within them and they overcame, then there would be no reason to be arrested. Common sense would tell you not to do that, or common sense would allow you to learn from your mistakes quickly. But government comes in as plan B when plan A fails. And they create laws, and they have to keep creating laws. Listen, it's not like it's like, yeah, there may be an agenda behind why certain laws are created to like control the people, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we know that exists. We know evil exists, blah, blah, blah. But they wouldn't be able to get away with it if we didn't first open the door to it. And us opening the door to it is being lawless in the heart and being reckless and wild and crazy. All of it, every person. And I was talking to Jesse. I was talking to JLP this morning. I asked him on the plantation, because Jesse Lee Peterson was born on a plantation under the Jim Crow laws, way back in the day. He used to pick cotton and everything, for those that don't know. He used to pick cotton on a plantation under the Jim Crow laws. And I asked him, on the plantation, was there any cops? I asked him this morning. And he said, no, now that I think about it, I do not remember seeing that one cop on around the plantation, around the premises, wherever. He said, maybe if I ever went into the city, there may have been some cops, but on the plantation, around the plantation, there was no cops. Why? Because people had sense. They're under control. So back then, they didn't need gun control. They didn't need no gun control. Back then, they didn't need to worry about closing the borders. They didn't need to worry about closing the borders. Back then, government assistance. It wasn't even. I don't know when it came about, but I highly doubt back when JLP was on the plantation, government assistance existed. I could be wrong about the dates, but why would it need to exist if the family unit is together? Why would food stamps and EBT and all that stuff exist if people are on the right path? It wouldn't be. Why? Because God would be taking care of it. You wouldn't need no extra assistance, right? And why would there be one abortion clinic around if nobody's out of control? If everybody is being responsible? And let's be real, in a perfect world, not that, and maybe at some point there was virgins everywhere, right? Because it was known and you were influenced to do the right thing and blah, 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 right? But even there was times where people made mistakes or got caught up, but they took responsibility. So they didn't need no abortion clinic. So government is plan B when plan A fails. That's it. So anytime you want to think about complaining about the government, and it's okay to have some criticisms, right? That's fine. We know we're just having a conversation. But then remember, when you're done with your criticisms, when you're done with your little criticisms, that it's our fault. Our fault. We dropped the ball, so government got to step in and save the world. And we can argue that they're not saving nothing, but guess what? They doing what they can get away with. So if the country is to come back, if the country is to come back, the only way it's gonna come back is if hearts turn. The heart's gotta turn.
So do you still want the police to arrest the father and the son that's wrong?
Well, I'm glad that Jesse came in and made a great point, and I glossed over it. I didn't realize it. He said that. So do I still want the father to arrest the government to arrest the father for the kid's crime? I still think it's necessary. But only because it's just evidence and proof that the family failed.
No, but that doesn't say to arrest the father for it.
But he doesn't say not to arrest the father for it.
It says when they get older, repent and be born again. That's all.
Well, we had to disagree on this one. JLP is getting on me about the father thing again. But he makes a great point that I didn't that I want to get into really quick, and then I want to move on. And you can call in if you have something to say about 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773 is that the only reason why I was for that, right? And I don't want to get all into it again, but the only reason why I was for the school shooter who was 14, shot up the school, and the father got charged as well. The only reason why I was for that is for the sake of responsibility, not for the fact that the government gets to tell you what goes on in your household, but for the sake of because he missed them. Most people miss the mark, and they're trying. Everybody doing their best, but sometimes it's not until we hit the head that we start to wake up. And it's also a reality check that why should the government have to come in to pick up the pieces to your mess? That's what I agree with. And why should the government have to come in to pick up the pieces to your mess? They shouldn't have to come in to do it, but they end up having to. So on that specific case, I still feel the way I feel, but I could be wrong. Okay? But what I'm saying, I ain't lying. The point is there. Anyway. And I have proof of this, and then I'm gonna get to some calls. I have proof. Not of the daddy being charged, but proof about the government thing. And proof that it ain't nobody's fault but the individual. I have proof of it. Proof. You guys ready for the proof? Are you guys ready for the proof? I got the proof right here. Kanye West. Where is this from? Hold on. This is from Intels on Instagram. Kanye West Yeezy, also known as Ye, also known as Yeezus, pays $200,000 a month in child support to Kim Kardashian. $200,000 a month. Not a year, y'all. $200,000 a month. How much is that a year? I'll do the math. That's $2.4 million, I think. $2.4 million a year for child support. It's not just for the children. We know that. We know the mamas don't just give the money to the children or use the money on the children. Please. Their nails done, hair done, bodies done, butts done, face done. with that $200. Out of the $200, the mothers are giving $100 to the children. Here's a little $100 each. Go play at the arcade. Mama got to go on vacation. Anyway, Intel says Kanye West is reported paying $200,000 in child support to Kim Kardashian every month, making it the highest child support payment in American history. Poor Kanye. But not poor Kanye. Watch, I'm about to make a point. Highest child support payment in American history. The former couple who shares 4 children finalized their divorce in 2022, and the significant monthly payment is part of the terms agreed upon in their settlement. Along with child support, both Kanye and Kim have joint physical and legal custody of their children. They have joint custody, and yet he still has to pay child support. Yet he gets equal visitation rights. And guess what? Whose fault is that? Kanye West? Kanye West? Kim Kardashian? But Kim Kardashian is not the she's feeling good. But it's Kanye West's fault. The government stepped in wrongfully. We know that, right? For the most part, exceptions to the rule. But the government stepped in, right? Because they saw an opportunity that would have never existed if we weren't a mess, human beings. So Kanye West is paying the price of his own sins. That's just, listen. And everybody want to be mad that it ain't fair. The system ain't fair. And what ain't fair is the children having no parents in the same household. That's what's not fair. So Kanye is getting what he deserved. Listen. Kanye getting back what he put out. And he has to learn his lesson. And if he didn't drop the ball, then there would be no government to come in here and take your money. You'd have all your money still if you didn't drop the ball. So that's just the point. Kanye ain't no victim. Kim ain't no victim. It's a messy situation, and the kids are suffering. And that ain't judgment either, because at the end of the day, God forbid you see Joel picture up there, and then Hake or Nick is talking about Joel pays $500,000 in child support to his late wife. You know, that God forbid, but it's possible it can happen to anybody. But the point is that it's us as the individual that is responsible for this stuff. Nit says, cancel those words. I cancel those words, Nit. You're right. Cancel those words. I cancel them. Anyway, let me get to some calls. I want to see what the people have to say about this. And then we'll kind of go from there. Let me go to Eric, first time caller out of Texas. Eric, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello?
How's it going, Eric? Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, Joel?
All is well. How you doing?
All is well.
Right on.
I had seen you in, I think it was JLP's chat, say, like, if you were looking for love, I don't know if you said to call in, but to check out your show. So I decided to call in, and I'm kind of curious because, like, what is love?
Oh, shoot.
And because sometimes, like, I'll be out here, bro, and, like, I'll see women, and I'll be like, damn, like that's a fine little shorty, but most of the times I don't follow through because I can like see that it's just like for sex, you know. But like I guess it's like, what is love, and is it like just guiding a woman, instead of I guess
Oh,
you know what I mean?
great question. Great question, Eric. Great question. Love is being of it. Love is the light, right? You have to
Yeah.
be of it. You can't act it out. You can't put effort into it. You have to be of it, and it has to come through you. So for that to happen is that you have to surrender you trying to control your life and trying to have love and trying to prevent yourself from talking to ladies or do all these things. You want to just let go and watch these things. And in that way, say if you do end up getting in a situation to where you sleep with a woman or you do certain things, you don't judge yourself from it, but you learn from what happened, right? So that way, that understanding can help you overcome, right? The light is shining on our experiences throughout life. And over time in that, you'll start to overcome as you learn more, and then love will just come through you because of your renewed mind. So you don't want to put pressure on trying to do love or try to force being of love. You just want to live life, and in time you'll understand what that really means, if that makes sense.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, but don't put so much pressure. You know, a lot of guys put, and I'm not advocating for guys to go out there and act crazy and reckless, right? But
Yeah.
A lot of guys put so much emphasis on trying to avoid doing all these things simply because they think that it's so bad and it's so evil and all this stuff. When you're supposed to just be observing and understanding what's going on. Why do you feel this way? Why do you have the urge to do these things? And if they happen, don't judge yourself about it, but also don't try to force yourself and prevent yourself from just living life, if I'm making sense.
Okay, I got you.
Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
What am I saying? Does. What am I saying?
I guess what I got from it is like just to live freely is like don't hold back. But like if it does happen, is like don't judge myself either, you know?
Yeah, because when these things happen, it's because we're lost in the mind. We're lost in our minds, right? And we believe the lies, right? But you can't not believe the lie until you understand what that really means, if I'm making sense. So you're just lost in your head type of thing. It's not like an intentional thing where you're trying to just be a jerk to people or you're trying to just be a bad person. No, is that, you know, it's life is hard. We've been taught all the wrong things for years and years and years, and it's not just going to stop right away, right? It's going to take some time. So we just don't have to demonize ourselves for making mistakes or experiencing life.
Okay, I got you.
Just be aware and watch it, then you'll learn on the way.
Okay, sounds good.
That's the best I got for you, Eric. I appreciate it.
Sweet. Thank you, sir.
Call me again. All right.
All right, bye.
Let me see here. Let me check the super chats and I'll get back to the calls. There are some lines open. 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. Ryan Moon, keep up the hard work. Right on, Ryan. I appreciate it, man. Ryan Moon. Let me check the buy me a donut. It better be a maple. Not a real donut. Donation in the form of a donut. Daniel says, God bless you. I appreciate that, Daniel. With a couple donuts, I appreciate it. God bless you back, Daniel. You the man. All right. Back to the calls. Let me go to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, brother Joel? What's happening with you?
All is well, Rick. How are you?
Everything's everything, man. Tell the crew I said what's up.
Will do. I'll let them know.
Man, the government, man. You know what, man? It's daddy government.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Don't the federal government supposed to protect the borders, the southern border and the northern border? That's the federal government's job, is part of protecting the country. Am I correct?
That's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, should President Biden be brought on some charges that he's not protecting the country?
Well, the thing is, the issue to me is that I agree. Yes, I agree. But the issue is that us as the people elected Mr. Biden. Not everybody voted for Biden, right? We know that. But us as the people, there's the decline in values and understanding common sense elected these people to lead us, right? And then when we do that, they end up doing what they believe is true, and it's us to blame. So, yeah, I just I don't know if you caught. Go ahead, Rick.
No, I'm just saying. To me, no matter what party it's in, the international border protects the country, man. It's like the military. It's used to protect our interests overseas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, somebody sit there and defund the military and, make them so weak, shouldn't there be a law against that?
What do you mean exactly? Like to prevent
right, it should be, it's the federal government's job, like, to protect the borders, protect society. That's the government's job, is to protect society.
Yeah.
Not to, take care of everybody from cradle to grave. The government's job is to protect society, and protect it from evil. That's pretty much it.
Well, that's my question though, Rick, is why does society need protecting? That's the question that I'm questioning now, is that, like, why does we need protection? Because protection means that somebody is out of control, right? Because evil obviously exists and stuff like that, but is that why does it exist to such an extent that now we have to make 1,000 laws to prevent stuff from happening?
I see where you're going. And a good example, like James was talking about capital punishment earlier. A lot of people is against capital punishment because a lot of people, there's so many variables that can get wrong. But I'm for capital punishment. There's evidence, 100% shoutable without evidence, that you killed, like you went in the store and robbed the store and shot the people that was in the store, that was running the store. You deserve a death penalty, especially got you on film from the time you got there until you killed the people. You should get the death penalty. That's a shot without evidence.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Finish your point, Rick. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm saying that should be no stop without evidence like that. Now, to me, if I'm on the jury, if there's a possibility that this guy can be innocent, I won't go for the death penalty. But they got 100% proof that he done it. Yes, I'll vote for death penalty for him. That's no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. Trump I heard Trump. I watched a little bit of Trump's rally in Pennsylvania yesterday, and he was talking about one of the leaders. He asked one of the leaders, "How is the drug problem not a problem in your country?" And he says, "Anybody who is guilty of selling drugs, we give them the death penalty right away." And Trump agreed with it. He's like, "Yeah, I like that idea. We need to get rid of," and because he was mentioning how drugs, on average, like according to some statistics, allegedly, a drug dealer who dies over their lifetime, they kill about 500 up to 500 people from the drugs that they sell. So it makes sense of what he's saying. But the crazy thing that my first thought was like, I agree, that should be it. But then I also thought, like, well, why is it to that point? Why do we have to now give people the death penalty if they're selling drugs, when the real issue is that the hearts are wicked? So it's like,
agreed.
When do we? Then I start questioning, like, and I may be going. I'm going a little bit off a little bit on a tangent here, but
Yep.
when do we start to question when to stop enforcing laws and when to start, turning the hearts around, when to start letting Christianity be at the forefront, when to start pointing people back to morality. And that's when I started to question, like, yeah, that's a good idea. Death penalty, right on. And maybe it'll make people think twice, but that's still not changing hearts. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you there, Joel. First thing, if hearts were turned to God, you wouldn't get all this madness.
You wouldn't get, and we wouldn't need a death penalty.
Exactly.
At least not to.
Only for those. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say not. Maybe for the exceptions to the rule, right? But it wouldn't be like, okay, we got to use this often type of thing. We got to make this law.
Right. Just like, okay, like, I'm like, if people would turn their hearts to God, we wouldn't be getting all this madness. Now, people,
right.
Like you said, people's sinful hearts causes the problem. So when somebody make the poor choice of taking drugs, now they hooked on drugs, and that's your fault. Even though the drug dealer sold it to you.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned,
right.
Like, if the drug dealer ain't killed nobody, just sold you some drugs, and then here comes another thing. He sells the guy some drugs and sells some bad dope, and it kills him.
Right.
Should he be responsible? But even though he didn't make him take the drug, but should he be responsible since he stole some bad stuff?
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think. Are you asking me, or are you just saying?
Well, I'm asking. What you think? Like if a drug dealer, even though he sold him the drugs, but the person, if they had a heart, for a godly heart, they wouldn't have took the drugs in the first place. But by him selling some bad drugs, it killed him.
That's a good point, right?
And
should
he be responsible? For killing the guy that chose to use drugs, but actually, he shouldn't have been selling the drugs in the first place.
Right. I think that the person who is takes the drugs is at fault, not the person who sold the drugs. Yeah, because I mean, of course, they should be selling drugs that kill people, right? So there's consequences. But the responsibility, I feel, falls on the person who takes the drugs way more than it falls on the person who does it.
Yeah, you're right. And they'll come up. Like, I listen to people on YouTube. Now, they know how crack cocaine is. They say, man, I was with my friends, and then at first I was smoking marijuana, the Primo. Usually Primos are marijuana laced with some cocaine. So then he listened to some person told him to try to crack cocaine, and he tried it. All the evidence, you know how they say in the Bible about a testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses?
Yeah.
With crack, you got thousands of witnesses, people that tried cocaine, and no one beat crack cocaine yet. Either you're going to be addicted to it for about 30 years, and by the time you do try and turn yourself around, you so sick and the cracking ate you up so bad, you just got health problems,
Well, I think that can be restored, and you're right, though. Sometimes the consequences end up winning the battle, but I think if you turn and you're genuinely right, your heart's turning you and you overcoming, then all of that stuff can be restored. But yeah, sometimes people's lives are taken because of years and years of drug problems and all that stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah. I mean, their teeth fall out their head, they lose weight, their brain is not the same.
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of people
true.
realize marijuana shrinks your brain. You
That's
can smoke
true.
all the marijuana all you want, but it shrinks your brain. They're going to start taking you a long time to process. If somebody talking to you, it takes you about 20 minutes to process what they're saying because your brain is so small.
Yeah, that's a good point.
A continuous marijuana use, then you're right there, Joel. If people would turn their hearts to God, a lot of this madness we're going through in this country wouldn't even exist.
Yeah, and that's just the point that I was trying to make here is that, like, government it can be a good thing and can be helpful, but it's plan B. But plan A has failed, which is us. Morality is plan A, and plan A has failed. So plan B is stepping in as daddy government, but they're stepdaddy. They don't know you. You know what I mean? They don't know what's in your best interest. They don't know how to really make sure that this stops happening. All they do is just yell at you or put a law in place, and now
Right, and the
you know,
politicians do that to try and make themselves look good. Like, for instance, making laws for the alphabet group.
right.
It's already laws for them. It says you shouldn't murder nobody. So why you have to make special laws for the alphabet group?
Right.
If you murder is murder. I don't care if it's a gay, a black, a green. No one should be over here killing people. Period.
Exactly.
And then you get the dirt because always we need to make special laws for the alphabet group. Make laws for the blacks, and it does that. It does that. Like I said, most liberal blacks, liberal whites, they gotta keep blacks aggravated and angry so they can continue to guarantee they vote. Cause blacks are the only people that don't hardly change, man. We've been voting Democrat for the last 60 years.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Don't hold them accountable at all, man. Even the black ones. As long as you black, only thing, a campaign message for a black politician to tell them, look, I grew up in the projects and I ain't had no health insurance. That's his campaign message.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they say, oh man, you deep, man. And vote him in, and he can steal until he a millionaire, and they don't even hold him accountable. They don't care.
Yeah, because they know their base, they know their demographic, they know where they get the votes, so they pander and cater to. That's how it goes. But yeah, until people change, and until individuals change, then it's just going to continue to be going down this path. And new laws and all that stuff is not going to help anything. But I appreciate that, Rick. I gotta keep moving the calls.
Oh, do your thing, Joy. Thanks for taking my call, man. And love you guys. Y'all be blessed. Hopefully old William can call in this hour, man. I ain't heard from old William in a minute.
Right on. I'm sure he's listening. I appreciate it, Rick. Call me again.
No problem. Love you guys. Y'all be blessed.
All right, you as well. I got a text. Lord. Doug. Lord. Doug says, everyone won't change their heart and is not on the path. What do you do with those people? That's true. That's true. Good point. Not everybody is going to turn. Not everybody's going to overcome. And there's some people who are going to stay Satan's children. That's true. And we deal with them as we deal with them. But let me just say this, is that's why there's maybe exceptions to the rule, right? For maybe death penalty, maybe for jail, maybe for these things, right? Of course, there's exceptions to the rule. But in my belief is that if people turned, enough people, right? The chosen few, because it's only going to be a few. The chosen few, that would be enough to prevent a lot of this evil from being out of control. A lot, evil would be hiding in the dungeon, afraid to come out. You know, you might see some crime here and there and stuff might happen and all that stuff, but it wouldn't be like it is to where we need to create 9,000 laws to prevent it. The chosen few will be running the city, running the town, and the light from that would defeat evil. It would be under control. So that's just my point, but there are exceptions to the rule, so maybe we still need a law or two. Right on. Right on. So maybe 1 or 2 laws, maybe 3. Let's see here. People want to get in now. I got a few minutes. I'll just keep moving the calls. Let me go to Jaime out of Minnesota. Jaime, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Jaime.
How's it going, Joe?
How's it going, Jaime? All is well.
Going pretty good. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about a few topics. True love, that's allowing other people to stay in their suffering.
Yeah.
Not without judging them in their suffering.
Yep.
I believe what that other guy was asking was about what is love when it comes to a woman.
Yeah.
You know, between a man and a woman. Well, it's the same thing.
Right.
You treat all people that way in order to show them true love.
Right.
And when their actions impose on your well-being, it's time to leave. You need to leave that situation.
What do you mean by that?
And that's
Their
true love.
actions impose. What do you mean?
Well, like with a woman, if she's not going to have your babies and she's going to take somebody else's name or, hyphenate the name, that's imposing on the man. And so you have to leave that one and find another one. But there's other things like with parents and with other people. Like, say you and I have a discussion and you disagree with me and you raise your hand to me, then it's time for me to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right about that.
Imposing.
Yeah, I agree. There are certain things to where you realize, okay, like, we got to move on. We can't, certain things you don't allow. And that's when you just got to keep it moving. I agree.
And true love is leaving that. And this is the problem with the Democrat, is they don't know what true love is. They know what love looks like, and but they don't have wisdom.
Yeah.
And that's why they make these laws that are imposing upon the people, the wrong people.
No, that's...
With immigration, mostly with immigration and energy policies. They love the nature and all that, but they don't have the wisdom to see how it imposes upon the will of other people.
No, that's a great point, Jaime. I think that the tricky thing is the false attachment, right? Could you say that people may recognize love, right? But the false attachment, they go blind in that, and then they don't know when to call it quits. They don't know when to put their foot down. They don't know when to say, okay, this is enough. But instead, that false attachment has them thinking that, oh, people will change. Oh, you just got to love it away. Oh, and that's not, as we see, those don't work. That type of approach doesn't work.
And so with things like capital punishment, not having capital punishment is a sign of hate.
Not having, people that and why? Why do you think so?
There are people that impose their will so wickedly as to hurt other people in life-altering ways, and they need to die, have capital punishment for that.
Yeah, there's a time for that. I agree. I think there's a place for that, and there's a time for that to where you got to listen. The
reason it was removed from so many places is because of the Democrat and Republican misconception of what love is.
Yeah, that's another good point, Jaime. You're right. Because now that seems so harsh to do that. And I'm not going to lie, Jaime, if I'm being honest, when I heard Trump say that yesterday, saying was getting busy already and was like, wait, the death penalty? That's kind of, but no. Sometimes there's a time where you need to be firm about these things, and that is love. That is love, to be able to do what needs to be done, what's being called, or what the moment calls for. So, yeah, it's not the emotions will have you thinking differently. So I agree.
Now, each crime does need to have a punishment, but it needs to be brought with wisdom in a loving way. So the punishment for taking drugs, doing a drug, shouldn't be that you're put in a death penalty or something.
Right.
But the crime for selling it, that does have some wisdom, that you kill that person.
Right.
Give them the capital punishment. With the overreach, the government's not doing it right.
Right.
And it is because the people are ignorant, the people being me and you. We don't vote. But that's also from the education. Now, with the young man who did the school shooting and his dad, what is your opinion on why do you think he should be punished? What is the crime that he committed?
The crime
that you think he should be punished for?
Well, crime where he failed. Because I don't want to. I'm not. where he failed, I'll say it that way. Where he failed is he failed his child, right? He wasn't the best example for his child. And from the evidence that is gathered, according to the evidence that's gathered, he missed the mark in a lot of ways. And because of that is a big reason why the son has these even thoughts, in my opinion, these even ideas. He doesn't know how to deal with his anger. He doesn't know how to deal with those voices. Why? Nobody taught him. And he didn't ask to be brought into this world and to have these thoughts and this anger and all that stuff. No, he was brought into this world. And a lot of that has to do with the parent. Now, should the government have to step in and tell you that you're wrong and you shouldn't do this? No, but guess what? Nobody else is taking responsibility. Nobody else is saying that, you know what, maybe I'm missing the mark. They just keep missing the mark. So the government comes in and has to smack people on the head. It's unfortunate, but who else is waking people up?
Right. And so what you told me was that, and I agree with you, there is a punishment for this man in a spiritual sense. But I asked you, what is the crime that he committed in the physical place here? What crime did he commit?
By law, crime, I guess he didn't commit a crime.
Right. So let's stop right there. The government says that he is culpable for the murders of these people, even though he didn't commit the crime. That's wrong.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying is that, like, if he didn't break any laws, then why is he being tried under law? That type of thing.
Tried for the murder.
Tried for the murder. I get that point, but to me, I still see responsibility there. That's why I say
right in the physical realm. And this is why I asked you what crime you think that he committed.
I get that
I would
point.
agree with you that he is negligent, and there is a crime that's punishable by called negligence.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with murder.
Fair enough. Fair point.
And it doesn't come with prison time. It would be jail time.
Fair point.
But
fair point.
I wanted to clarify that with you and see what you thought. Because I don't think you mean that he should be punished for murder. I think that maybe jumping the gun a little and getting on that bandwagon. But if you stop and think, what crime did this guy commit? And use it in think about it with love.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Physically, there was no law that he broke. Physically, he didn't commit a crime. So you're saying physically he shouldn't be tried in the physical way. Like, he's always going to have a spiritual consequence, blah, blah, blah. But physically, he didn't commit a crime. And that's true. And I could be wrong. Hey, maybe it's not right for him to go to prison. I can understand your point on that. I think that there should be consequences, but who am I? And let me make it clear, though, too, Jaime, is that who am I to say that his consequences should be jail? So you make a point.
The argument, and I think I'm giving you a way out, or a way to punish this person in a physical way, is negligence.
What is that?
Negligence. Being willfully negligent of what his son was doing.
Yeah, see, and if they do an investigation on that, Jaime, and they find that stuff, obviously that makes more sense. We don't know that yet, or at least I'm not aware of any details as far as that. If he gave the gun to him and said, go do this, or if he, stuff like that, then yes, of course, that's more grounds for it being right to throw him in jail. But as of now, we don't. Yeah, as of now. So, but the point is, I get your point on that, and I think you make a good point.
Did you read Ezekiel?
Ezekiel?
Yeah, about why the father should not be responsible for the son.
Oh, no, I haven't read that yet. I have to check that out. Ezekiel what?
13 something.
Okay, I'll look it up. I'm sure I'll find it quick on Google. But I appreciate it, Jaime. Call me again, man.
Okay. Bye.
All right. It's a good point. He didn't commit no physical crimes, so why is he being punished in the physical? But then, a lot of people, it's a good point. So I can't deny it. And what parents don't fall short at? I don't know. This was pretty short. Man, I'm out of time. I'm gonna just really quick, go to a first-time caller. I'm so out of time, but it's a first-time caller. I want to get to Gabriel out of Canada really quick with the last couple minutes I have here, and then I gotta end Willem and the others. I'm sorry. I'll get you tomorrow if you want to call in. I'll go to you. Gabriel, first-time caller out of Canada. Welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Greetings, Joel. How are you?
All is well, Gabriel. How are you?
Okay. Doing well, thank you.
Wait, do you pronounce, are you Jabrail?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I recognize you from Hake Show, Hake Report.
Yeah. Joel, I've been listening you like for a long time now, and I know that you advocate, you're saying that parents have to take responsibility for some crimes of their children.
Yes.
Yeah. So I couldn't stop. I had to call because where I'm originally from, we have a culture where families are responsible for their own children. Government didn't play much role there.
Yeah.
I mean, there was always a law, but everybody knew that it's in families' hands. And now, because of the war, Russia and Ukraine, because of war times, that rule magnified. And what that means, you know what law right now back home, where I came from originally? If a son does something, the whole family can be removed from the territory of your country.
Oh, interesting.
Backed up, you have 2 days notice and added there. So it's a slippery slope. What I'm trying to say is it's very hard to create laws. There's always other side that can go for evil. Anyways, I know you almost
where do you side on that? Do you think that it was good that they should be held responsible like how it happened where you said you're from, or okay?
No, I do. I think that my culture had that ruling for a reason, so we survived till today, right? If we look historically, the problem is that when there's other effects come in, like a war or some cataclysm, certain rules, they can magnify and completely take away rights of the people, right?
Yeah.
So it's all the most important part is to always seek peace, so we don't get extremes, whether you're happy or you're sad, right? The same thing. Yeah. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
No, fair point, Gabriel. I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
No problem.
All right.
Have a good one, guys.
You as well. I have a question real quick, and then I got to end. For everybody have this question. Is if the drug dealer, Trump said it in Pennsylvania, if the drug dealer who sells the drugs to the druggie, the user, and the drug dealer, according to what Trump was saying, the drug dealer should be death penalty, capital punishment. If you guys think that that's good and that's okay, then you also have to think that it's okay for the parents to be sent to jail. I'm going to tell you why. It's because why do you agree with daddy government in one sense, but not daddy government in the other sense? Now we're picking and choosing which ones we want to have daddy government do, right? Why should the drug dealer get the death penalty for the consequences of giving drugs, though according to to some people saying that the kid didn't have to shoot, he didn't have to do it. Well, the drug user didn't have to take the drugs. So why should the drug dealer get the death penalty then? Either we give the death penalty and let daddy government take over and do these things, or we don't do it at all. Which one? But we can't pick and choose. Because you guys mad at me for doing the throw the daddy in jail, But you ain't mad when Trump say throw the drug dealers in jail with the death penalty. Everybody room for that one. So think about that. Anyway, I got in. Fun show. Thanks for you guys super chats and the buy me a coffees and the calls and great calls and the chat and the viewers, all that stuff. Appreciate you guys. I'm out of time. I gotta end. I got people blowing me up. Don't tell me what I can't pick, what I can pick and choose. I got everybody blowing me up. I appreciate you guys. I'm back here tomorrow. For the callers that couldn't get in, if you want to call in tomorrow, we can get into it. American Anchor Baby coming in at 4 p.m. Make sure you guys check him out. And anybody backtalk me, I'm throwing your parents in jail and you. So think twice before you backtalk me. In the chat as well. I'm coming after all you guys, so don't think you're slick. I'm just kidding. All right, y'all, I gotta go. See you tomorrow. And all that good stuff. Bye.